Burke 9 to 7 on their run. To set things up for high school football on Saturday, Lincoln Lutheran will play at Lincoln Christian, Omaha Bryan will play at Lincoln High, Grand Island will play at Lincoln Pius, Lincoln Northeast plays at Lincoln North Star, and Lincoln Southwest will play at Lincoln Southeast. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus, as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket. We take our college football Saturdays so seriously at 93.7 The Ticket that one post-game show simply isn't enough. Join Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and DP for the Ticket postgame. 90 minutes following each Nebraska game at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. They'll break down the game from their vantage point and bring in special guests as well, with giveaways to listeners who drop by. It's the Ticket postgame with Jay Foreman and DP at Tanner's Bar and Grill. Sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good Tuesday to you all. Want to thank you folks who are hanging out on the video streams by Sartor Heyman. You can do so on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. I'm being clear. I'm being transparent today. Today's a tough day for me. And as a part of what we do, there are coaching conversations that I'd like to have. Today is one of those days. Feel free to contribute, add to on the Sartor Heyman text line, 464-5685. If you want to call in, do the same. On the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 464-5685. In order for me to get through this day, I'm going to have to talk about a thing that I don't want to talk about. I constantly have to remind myself of why sports/coaching matters. It's the people who play the games, the people who show up at the games, the people who care about the games, but ultimately the people who play the game make the games more interesting. They make them more meaningful. They make them more valuable. And as a coach, I know that from my heart, I coach a little differently than some other folks. But ultimately, the responsibility of being a coach means more to me than the skills required. If you've ever played on a team or coached a team or been a member of a team where the members themselves have more value than the team itself. As a coach, I've been doing this a long time in a lot of different places. But today I got a phone call that no parent, coach, teammate wants to hear. which is that you have lost one of yours. Especially when it's a young person with all of the potential and good in them. I'll tell this story so you understand why it hits me so hard. And I'm apologizing in advance because I coach with emotion from emotion. I care, and it bothers me when this stuff happens. But there's a school that I coached at in Virginia, and a great school, but there's some history behind the stress of being high achieving, high functioning, high academics, high athletic responsibility. There's a lot of responsibility that are put on young people, and people will passingly speak about Gen X, about being this and being that. What I can tell you about this young man is this. I met him when he was a freshman. I coached him in football. He's the kind of young man who would hang out after practice to hear your stories and share his. For whatever reason that year, I went from one school in football to a different school, a rival school in basketball. And when I coached against my school, this young man sought me out after the game and stopped me. He says, "Coach, I want to thank you." And I'm like, "For what? We just battled." And he goes, No. He goes, "You're still my coach. That team needs you, but you're still my coach. And thank you for coaching me when you were coaching them." He says, "Because I heard you. And whatever you would tell them, it's like you were speaking to me." I don't coach for wins and losses. I never have. Coaching should be about, sports should be about, life should be about one-to-one connections between human beings. And then the collective good that we can accomplish from them. And this was a young man that would he would seek me out. And there's a thing I would tell people. We had our own code and our own way of greeting, but when he saw me and I saw him, we would smile, we'd hug, we'd smile again, we'd high five when it was time to say, "See you later." And then we would smile one final time, so that no matter what happened in that day, from the moment we got there to the moment we left, he knew what he was getting when I saw him. That's what coaching is. That's what sports is. Look, we'll talk about wins and losses later, but I'm telling you, man, smile, hug, smile again, high five to say what we just did mattered, and then a smile to say, "Until I see you again, young man. I got you, you got me, we got each other." We would spend time talking about his mom. He was raised by a single mom who battled and fought for him. And he just really wanted to make her proud. Right? He just wanted to make her proud. And there were 4 ways that he knew how to make her proud. He knew that if he loved her, she would be proud. He knew that if he performed well at school, he would make her proud. He knew that if he was a decent human being, she would be proud. And then he knew that if he could grow up to be a really good man for her, she would be proud. And he would ask these questions: "Coach, what can I do for mom today? I think she had a tough day. What can I do?" And we would just talk about the things that people do for each other when they care for each other. Go make her a meal, or go clean her room, or go do her laundry, or do something that is of value to her. This young man went on, graduated, went through the days of 9/11, even in Virginia and DC. He was the kid that when on 9/11, when they needed somebody to put the American flag on their shoulder and run it into the stadium so everybody knew we were okay, he was the guy that they chose. This is the guy that went on to South Carolina, graduated with honors. We would check in once in a while, just him being proud of me being proud of him. And a couple of things happened today that blew my mind. One, I made the mistake of asking myself the question, what could I have done? And I don't know. There is no answer. I loved him as hard as I could love him, as often as I could love him, the way that I know how to love him. And I'm just saying all this to tell you that, one, when I talk about sports, I'm talking about the people. The X and O stuff, look, chimpanzees can go to a board and draw up X's and O's. But to actually connect with humanity while you do it is something that's very impressive, and it matters to me. But there's a whole community of folks right now who are in pain because one of their babies, one of their grown men, one of their best is gone. And Nebraska folks, you understand that. Like, you've been through it. But it doesn't hurt any less to think that this is the reality. It's just a reminder. Look, when we talk about sports and when I talk about coaching, I'm not necessarily talking about the game. Because in the end, the game only matters because there's some really cool people participating in it. And we're cheering their success. And I'm not getting off on their failures. And I don't applaud it. I'm simply watching a community and a family and an individual at their very best. And we get to do it collectively. And I just say, listen, man, when you watch the games you play, remember the people. And as a coach, I live by this. I will never, ever, ever choose the game over the people. I can't do it. Look, I'm sorry again. We're getting emotional, but man, when you lose the dudes that did everything that they could to get right, be right, do right. Coaches, parents, mentors, leaders, take a moment today, and I don't care who you're thinking about. I don't care if you're a player and you got a coach that hugged on you. I don't care if you're a parent with a kid who went to school today. I don't care if you're a coach with a squad of players. Doggone it. Take time to say one more, are you okay? Just one more. We can't get them all, but damn it, we sure better try. We better try. Again, I apologize, but I had to get that out of me, or my head was going to explode. I spent a lot of last night and today in some very good space with some very good people. Kind of foretelling to this was last night in my building, I had a fire alarm. It was loud. It was obnoxious. It was crazy. And so we all scattered down the stairs and wait for the fire department. And I think I've said it, and I don't think there's any surprise, but there last night I got to have a conversation with Matt Lubick. And to be truthful and honest, I'm not strangers with the Lubick family. Sonny Lubick, when he was at Colorado State and when I was in Utah, they were in our conference and we covered them pretty regularly, and he was just a character and a good man. And so, to find out Lubick's in town, okay, that's cool. And I've given space to Matt Lubick because I don't necessarily want to apply my life and energy to other people without permission. Like Matt Lubick has got his hands full. He's a prodigy and he's got his own, but I try to give the man space. But last night we had a conversation about him as a man. And I offered this, that nobody in the state of Nebraska knows more offensive attacks than Matt Lubick. But Matt Lubick is a man, he's the Wizard of Oz. He's the man behind the curtain. And fortunately, I'm familiar that Matt Lubick is a really good dude. Like when you have the conversation with him, and I want our listeners to know Matt Lubick. Look, the X's and O's, there's a million explanations for them, and that's fine. But to me, the reason why we choose the people that we choose in our lives, choosing a Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland, Buzzy Carruthers, and Nick Sainert, whatever the case may be, what it is, it's the person. Talent is one thing, but the person, the heart, the energy, and the way they work. And I asked Matt Lubick if he felt known. Did he feel seen? Because and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, I don't think we know enough about him. And what I know about Nebraska fans is when they know the person, they care about the person. And so I offered Matt Lubick the opportunity. I'm like, listen, come talk. I said, we don't even talk football. I don't care. But to talk about him and his diet and his life, his parents, his former athletes, his philosophy on life, all of those things, because those are the things that are way more important than receiver rotations and such. And I wanted to give Matt an opportunity to do that. So I'm just going to say this. I offered him a chance to come on Thursday at 3 o'clock. I told him we would not talk. We're not going to talk about Fordham. We're not going to talk about Illinois. We're going to talk about life, a coach's life, why he cares, what he cares about. Right? Those are things that I think Nebraska Husker fans would want to know, is who is the man behind the position. The position only has value if the man in it is of quality and is open to share, and he is. On that same note, I got a phone call from Derek Walker. I got the nudge. Hey, man, listen, I got an open schedule tomorrow. And I said, let's do something. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, what do you want? And he says, well, how about 3:30? I'm like, which one? He goes, well, let's do both. And again, rooting for Derek Walker, the Nebraska Husker, is one thing. I can go deeper into my heart because of Derek Walker, the young man. He is impressive. He's good. He's a good man. He's gonna do well by anybody that's ever worn the Nebraska Huskers colors. He will make everybody who knows him proud, and I just want people to get to know him a little better, a little more familiar. I just think some of the conversations that I want to have going forward, and I want to shout out to Keith Mann from Huskers football, who gave me some concession yesterday on how we can fill up this 3:30 hour with Husker football players. And he made concessions and gave suggestions and ideas on a way for us to record these interviews, actual conversations, where you get to know the Huskers. And there's no judgment in the humanity behind being whoever they are. But I just want the opportunity for these folks to be known by you, and you know them. That's what I want to do with the space. There's plenty of time to talk X's and O's, and I will. There's plenty of space to be in opinion about the rights and wrongs of last week's games and the possibility of next week's games. I'm all in. I tell you, we'll throw it to an early break. When I come back, I'll say this. I'll get into Fordham a little bit. I'll go back a little bit in Illinois. And over the next two segments, we'll review, set the GPS, and then preview. We will do that. Thank you kindly, my friends. One-on-one. We'll be right back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Showers and thunderstorms will continue to be a possibility this morning. By this afternoon, some sunshine tries to mix in. We'll see a high temp of around 82. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy with the low dropping down to 66. We'll start off with cloud cover tomorrow, then break out the sunshine and warm up a bit with a high of 87. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus, as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 SEER. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health. One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Back to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Again, thank you, folks, on the Sauter Heyman text line, 4645685 for patting me on the back, wiping a tear. It's like I said, it's just really tough to get through. My love for sports is my love for people, my love for humanity. Little note from one of my captains, who was captain of the team this young man was on. It says, "You will always be our coach. That'll never change. You taught us to stay strong and lean on each other in tough times. We will get through it together. Love you, Coach DP." Now, I can tell you in private, I'm a big dude, but I'm a big teddy bear. And I have bark. But these young dudes knew that they were cared about. I use this phrase, love out loud. And that is to say that love requires action. Action requires love. You can say you love a thing, but if you don't show, if you don't act in love of that thing, you may be missing out. Love requires action. You have to actually act on the thing that you care about. Action requires love. Being busy is great, but if you don't do anything good with it, you're wasting your time. And then together, action and love together can accomplish anything. It makes us better. Every great weak moment in America has been solved and resolved by us loving and uniting. 9/11's coming up. I'll just put that in the air for you. That's what we're here for. Like, we get lost in the nonsense, but the reality is our biggest regrets are when we love people and they didn't know that we did. Or when we respect people and they didn't know that we did. Do not have that regret. Do not carry that regret. It's too big of a burden to carry. Speaking of my former dudes, coming to town this week, Fordham. And I've got a couple of my dudes coming to town, and one, Grant Wilson, who's the number 2 quarterback for Fordham, 6'5", 215 or so, can spin it. He's been in the busy hands of one Barry Thompson that you guys are familiar with, but from my hometown of Arlington, Virginia, and he'll be the number 2 backup. And we figure either way he may get some play this weekend, which would be good. It'll be joyful. DeKeys Carter, the wide receiver from Fairfax, Virginia. It's one of mine. Good feet, good hands, fearless. Gonna be good to see. Fordham does not have the talent that Nebraska does. They don't. They have a system that works. What if I told you that in their 3-game season last year, their quarterback threw for 72% of his completion rate? Whoops. Yeah, FCS, offensive player of the year. Whoops. All conference. Whoop. They will be competent. They'll be minus 50 or 60 pounds on either side of the offensive and defensive lines. But guess what? They play together. They have an identity. They got 2 all-conference running backs. 2. Thunder and Lightning. One dude that'll get downhill and embarrass you if you don't come up with your hat full. Another kid with great feet that'll get outside and put you in open space and see what kind of swimming skills you got in deep water. But truth be told, Nebraska should run Fordham out of the building. The check will be good. But as I said yesterday, this is purposeful for Nebraska football. It has to be. I've been hearing conversations in the locker room. Guys are talking. They do not like what happened Saturday. They're a bit perplexed about how it happened. There's a question of what happened. How it happened is a greater question. And that's the thing that's been passed along. But here's the thing. I think this group of young men will figure it out. We'll know Saturday. Because some of the fear being removed of you're not competing on your level. So on your talent level. And if you're wise and if you're smart and you're trying to be productive, what you will do is work on the things that you're not good at on Saturday. Don't focus on yourself and the things you need to get done. Hey, I need to get mine on Saturday because, I didn't get mine last week against Illinois. Nope. That is the wrong mentality. We need to get ours. That's what you should be saying. What can I do to do my job better? Look at the film. Look at the film. The film doesn't lie. And I mean, don't look at it don't look at the end zone. Don't follow the ball. Watch each play 5 times like most coaches do in a room. And look at your left tackle, your right guard, your left guard, your center, your right tackle. Watch your tight ends and their footwork and whether they're getting wins and does it look like comfortable movement? Because what I saw Saturday was a lot of players who got outside of themselves, made movements outside of themselves. An offensive tackle, look, you can't have your left tackle get bent backwards from the waist up on a simple 3-step drop pass pro. You can't have your left guard swing and a miss. But see, here's what happens. Each of those folks have their own film study that they have, and it showed each of them in their own game. And they can evaluate themselves. And the really good players will look at that, and they will show up at practice with full understanding of what they need to work on. Coaches also evaluate themselves. How did your group do? Imagine for a second what those individual groups would be talking about. Do you think the quarterback room was happy or satisfied on Sunday morning? Do you think that the running back room, where there was apparently a full competition with several people, and this was a race, and they went back and forth. Right? Like there was a different time. Any given month, there was a different front runner. Do you think that room was happy or satisfied? The wide receiver room, which got cheered, was questioned, and then it was cheered, and then it was questioned again. Do you think that room was happy with their performance? And I don't just mean in number of catches. Look at the targets. Look at completion ratio. Look at yards after catch. And let me say that again. If you want to know how that room conversation went on Sunday, look at the yards after catch. The player with the most productive yards after catch was, drum roll, Omar Manning. For a group that needs explosive playmakers, if Omar Manning is the most explosive player who can do something after he catches the ball, you might want to try to get him the ball some more. If you're 6 for 11 to your best receiver or to your second best receiver, how many first downs does that get you? What kind of production does it get you? You're never going to have a full drive, especially when the yards after catch are low. Your FCS All-American, 3 catches, 5 targets. If you tell me that Samori Toure got fewer targets than all the other receivers, I have issue. Only because that doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. We said last week, as a matter of fact, I think, Nick, I said that they need to score 30 points to win. Why? Because Nebraska football has a recent history of doing things that are beneficial to their opponents. I'm not sure I understand the play calls. That's fair. Hasn't been explained to us. Still hasn't been explained to us. If there's a listener that knows what the game plan and plan of attack, like tell me what corner was the weak corner. Tell me who the 1, 2, and 3 corners were for Illinois. Tell me what they do well. Because you know what? We've kind of figured out that Cam Taylor-Britt in press coverage, 15 yards and under, is far more vulnerable than Cam Taylor-Britt on the back 15 of that outer third. So what do you think Illinois attacked? Cam Taylor-Britt in front of him. They understand that Phildarius Payne is a problem on the edge. So what do? They extend the edge. You think they cared where he was lined up? No, they had a plan of attack. If I run inside and he's 6 yards on the spread, then he's out of the play. They know weaknesses. They know strengths. We don't know what the strengths of this Nebraska team is. We don't know. We haven't been told and it hasn't been shared. No, it wasn't the Magic 8 Ball that told us. Again, Mr. Predictor was really wrong last week. He was being mean, but we understand that. We'll give him another try Friday. Most coaching staffs when they go into a game, they have a pretty good, or they should have a pretty good idea of their personnel, their schemes, and what they should be able to do. I've never gone into an offensive game not knowing how many points I thought it was going to take us to win. Now, if I went in and said it's only going to take us 11 points to win, I feel like, look, I've got a defensive plan that can hold that team to 10 points. I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses, I know what they run, and I know what we do. But when I look at it, we looked at a Nebraska defense over the last couple of years, why would I assume that they were going to be held to less than 30 points? That's the number. And then offensively, as an offensive coordinator, I have to make the decision on how I'm going to cover that. How are you going to score touchdowns? How is this offense going to score touchdowns? Tell you what, you can't count on Adrian Martinez running 75-yard touchdowns every week. And if you are, good luck. That's not a plan. That's a happenstance. How many yards do they need to rush on the ground by running backs per week? How many times does Samori Toure need to touch the ball? And where does he need the ball? See, your offensive identity is validated by your best player in the best space. I repeat that. Your best player in the best space. Who's the best offensive player for the Huskers? We didn't really know going into Saturday. We kind of thought. Ponder that for a minute. We still don't have an answer. We don't have an answer. Illinois told you, oh, Martinez is their best player. You know how? They actually planned to harass him and make it difficult for him to be successful. Now, who's smarter, Illinois or Nebraska? Was Illinois right? Yes, they were. Adrian Martinez is your best offensive player. That's a statement of truth. Does Adrian give and take away? Absolutely, but he's still your best offensive player. Now, what do you do for Adrian Martinez? Do you ask him to be what Adrian Martinez isn't? Do you want Adrian Martinez to become a pocket passer? Paging Lamar Jackson? No, you do not. Do you want him to be able to execute from the pocket? But do you want Adrian Martinez to really be a pocket passer? No, you don't. No, you don't. That's like putting Tom Brady in the inside zone read. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Toure, who's your best receiver? Well, the one that they trust the most is Oliver Martin. It's not Toure. It's Oliver Martin. That's who they trust the most. Is that an opinion? No, it's a statement of fact. They targeted Oliver Martin more than the other starting receivers combined. And if I told you that on Friday, all of you would have said, oh, they're really not going to win. Not because Oliver Martin's not a good football player, but is Oliver Martin the receiver that can lead you to Big Ten wins on opening day? No. You need all of them. You need all of them. You need all of them. We don't want Adrian Martinez to run. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We want Adrian Martinez in inside zone read. We want him to pull it early. So everybody now has to defend all 11 offensive players. All 6 skill players. Because if they don't defend all 6 offensive skill players, guess what? Nebraska's in trouble. Zone read makes running backs more effective. You know why? Because not everybody can crash on the dive. That's why you do it. You know what Adrian does really well in the inside zone read scheme? He throws off the play action pretty well. Why? Because it removes linebackers from his throwing space. And when the inside zone and the outside zone read is working, the receivers have 2 or 3 steps that they don't normally get in traffic. Do we know who the best offensive lineman is in the pipeline? Any idea? Boys, girls, anyone? Bueller? We thought it was Benhart or Corcoran. Who do we think it was? Whoops. Juergens? I asked the question, what is it that Nebraska does well often? And we don't know. We still don't know. Like, what's their best play? Their best play. They at this very moment, this offense does not have a best play. Their best play, if their best play is little league, where quarterback is the best athlete on the field, and he doesn't really trust his receivers or his line, what do you call in little league? You call quarterback draw, where he gets room, he takes a snap, he gets his eyes up, and he looks, and he hopes he finds one lineman that gets his butt between Adrian and the defender. He just needs one. And that's your best play. What should have been your best play was the play that you started your entire season with. You stacked your receivers to the right. You went you went 2 by 2, but you stacked to the right. You had a single back and one tight end. You quick out pattern to Samori Toure. Fact, first down, move the chain, never to be done again. That was the play that you chose to start your entire season on. Is that your go-to play? Is that your best play? If it's your go-to play, if it's the play you chose, remember last year with Luke, Ohio State, first offensive play. Adrian and Luke in the game together. Luke on the wing. Luke comes in reverse jet sweep, takes it 50 yards, whatever it was. Did we see that again? I'd love to know what they think they have. And then who are the people who can carry it out? Nick, grab the mic. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and there is no wrong answer.
All right.
Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay. Most talented running back. Go.
Marquise Stepp.
Okay. Most talented receiver.
Samori Toure.
Okay. So put a pin right there and look at the stats from last week.
Ooh.
Right? So 3 carries for Stepp.
Yep, 10 yards.
2 carries for Toure.
Hold on, I have the screenshot here. 3 catches for 37 yards.
How many runs? How many rushes did Toure have?
2 for 9.
Is Toure the best rusher on the team?
Nobody had 1 fewer than the most experience, I should say.
He had 1 fewer run at the thing he doesn't do best.
Mm-hmm.
1 less than the guy you got from USC to be your number 1. Do you have the targets there?
Yes.
Who had the most targets?
Oliver Martin.
How many?
11.
How many catches did he have?
6.
Is that we good with that? 6 for 11? That's your go-to guy. That means half the time you're gonna fail. Oh boy. That's not effective. Okay.
Samari had 6 targets, 3 catches. Omar 2 for 2.
Wait.
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't want to.
So there is a receiver on this team who you had 100% completion percentage to.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the ball 20% of what Oliver Martin got.
Yes.
Okay.
A little less. He got targeted.
Yards after catch? Does it show that?
It does not have that.
It does not show that. Okay.
I could probably find it.
Okay.
Here's one also.
Yeah.
One of the guys you threw to in the end zone
Uh-huh.
when you need points.
Uh-huh.
Targeted 6 times, caught it twice for 13 yards.
I don't even need no number. But in the most important throws of your day, there's 6. You can't.
Who'd you go to?
You went to Wyatt Lever. And listen, I'm not. This is not anti-Lever. I'm looking at the numbers. So disregard who the player was. What you're showing me is a continuation and a habit of either not being effective or not knowing what is effective. And you haven't schemed to your most effective, productive players getting more touches. Like the basic concept of offensive success is copy success. So a thing that works until they stop it. That does not happen. That did not happen Saturday. So put a pin there. Text line, I'm going to get to your text. Fire away. I'll get to all of those in the next segment before we get to Jay Foreman. But there's quite a few on there that I want to get to. Text line 464-5685. If you put a question in, I'll answer it next.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 year. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I wanted to see a team that was pissed, that was urgent, and I saw that from the get-go from the defense. Man, they look good. The defense was getting in the backfield right away. Those first couple drives, oh my gosh. Man. And then it just stopped. I said, this can't be a couple drives. It's got to be a full 60 minutes. If you are going to tell me Cam Taylor-Britt on Monday that this is your Super Bowl for the year, I better see 60 minutes of hell out there. Fire. I didn't see it.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Another packed fall season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their Cosmic Eye and Glacial Till selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket. The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Back to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sartor Hamann text line is busy. Husker Nation under a groove. Let's try to get through some of these questions, and we'll get to the last 10. Do I trust this coach? Trust or faith in the coaching? Faith in the staff? Yes. Trust in the staff? No. There's a difference. My hope is I get it right. Yes, Martinez, their best offensive player, missed 2 easy TD throws, fumbled away a TD. No wonder you're losing teams. Well, listen. It's the responsibility of the coaching staff to get your quarterbacks to play the way you need for them to play using the talents that those quarterbacks have. I just don't think that's being done currently. This is clearly a pattern with Frost, happened all of last year and really the year before. At this point, that is the identity. Texter, that is absolutely true. Somebody says, who cares who's catching the ball? Throw it to the open receiver. That is simplicity that doesn't work. You better know who's catching the ball. You better know who you're throwing it to. If you're not doing that, then really you got no shot of being successful. Texter says, I bet that Betts is the most talented wide receiver, maybe the most talented athlete on the whole team. Did not play. It's unacceptable. It's your job to get these guys ready. All facts. All statement of facts. Rubber Ducky says, the more you keep explaining the stats to me, the more embarrassing it is on what we did Saturday. Yeah, it should be. Because that, I hate to use the phrase, winnable game. That was a winnable game. Illinois was not going to win that game without Nebraska's help. I said that last week. Illinois could not beat Nebraska on its own. That still remains true. That says 2 things. Nebraska has talent and should have won that game. It also says something went horribly wrong and is horribly wrong. DP, I haven't heard any discussion of this yet. When Nebraska's punt game, it was Nebraska's punt game aiming to pin Illinois on their own 35-yard line every time because it looked like we weren't trying to do anything more than that, and it did not look like the punter was trying. I don't know. There's some method to kicking it out of bounds if you don't trust or have faith in your cover team. But the Australians' big leg should allowed him to kick it further than the 35. I mean, look at what Illinois' kicker did. I mean, he put a 59-yarder and put it on the 1-yard line twice. So Sten says, I'm picking up what you're putting down, DP. Watch a kid play Madden. They will use the best weapons early and often. It's simple. No matter what a defense shows, they get the ball to the stars. What's so hard about this simple philosophy that even volunteer Pee Wee coaches can master? There is success in simplicity. I mean, but you have to master the small stuff. This is why I spoke to all the little things on 4 plays yesterday. Any great coach will tell you it's always the small things. The big things get the headlines, but the outcome is always determined by a series of constant and consistent small things that are either done well or done poorly. And what I talked about on those 4 plays yesterday was just a consistent habit of a lot of little things being done poorly, and then a big thing capping it off like, whammo, look at this mess we made. What do we know Adrian does well? Run the ball, right? What did he have? 2, maybe 3 design runs, no draws, and very little zone read. WTF. Where was the quarterback run game other than the broken plays? Nathan, that's gospel and truth. My biggest issue was that you're asking Adrian Martinez to not be the better version of Adrian Martinez. Stop magnifying Adrian at his worst and allow Adrian to be Adrian at his best. Lamar Jackson, don't run the ball. Don't run it. You're too fragile. You get hurt. Mahomes, no sidearm throws. That's not technique. That's not why we want to do it. Crazy talk. Who calls our offensive plays, Frost or Lubick? And in your opinion, whichever one that is, are they qualified? Yes, they're qualified. I'm just not sure what the method or I'm not sure what the purpose is. Like, I'm not sure who they're attacking and with what. Like, I would always ask the question. And Barry Thompson and I would have that discussion. Okay, who's our best player? What do they do best? And can we get that person matched up with the defender who defends that the worst? Who's our best lineman? Who are they lined up against? Is there a sheep in the bunch? Can I send my dog after their sheep? It didn't seem like Nebraska had any of that in their game plan. Is Martinez in his own head? He has got to be the most emphasized QB in the passing game. Trust, faith. Are those players going to be where he needs for them to be on time? And then, does he trust himself? Adrian trusts himself when it's time for him to put his foot in the ground and get north-south. He trusts himself. There's no doubt when Adrian, it's time to go, it's time to go. Let him do that. No comment on anything personal life about any coach or player. I won't do that. That's not my place. That's not my lane. There are other places you can get that information. It just won't be through me. Do we know why Betts didn't play? Great question. Question mark. I want him on the side. Can somebody graphic up Betts' picture and put it on the side of a milk carton? Same for Savion Morrison. Right? And then we at least get answers about why. And again, sometimes it's a personal thing. Sometimes it's a player thing. Sometimes it's a situational thing. Don't know. Nobody told us, and a lot of people didn't ask.
Frost was asked about it yesterday, and this is what he said. 20-second clip.
Okay.
Xavier's a super talented kid. He's been improving every day since he's been here. Like I said, consistency has to matter to some degree. Him and everybody else. You got to do it all week and give teammates and coaches and everyone else confidence that you're going to be in the right place and do the right thing all the time.
Okay. All Big Ten practice players don't count. They don't count. They don't count. Some of the best players I know were terrible practice players. But when the lights were on, guess what? Showed out. Made the coach look like a genius. And just make sure that the rope that you have, the distance that you allow for your favorite players is the same for the skilled players that you have issued. Just be consistent. One final text, DP, I agree with you that Adrian should be doing what he does best, which is running the ball, but we've got all this talent wide receiver that's being wasted. If Adrian's running, there are fewer defensive backs with their eyes strictly on receivers. That's what I'm saying about that. All right? Hold tight. Sit tight. Buckle up. Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman will join us next, and we'll take you through the next 2 hours.